Woman with a Flower is an art piece made by the painter Paul Gauguin. It was done in 1891 in Tahiti and it is currently kept at the Glyptotek in Denmark. The original title means Woman of the Flower, but Gauguin translated it as La Femme à la Fleur. This portrait was one of the first pictures Gauguin painted on Tahiti. In Noa Noa, he wrote, "In order to familiarize myself with the distinctive characteristics of the Tahitian face, I had wished for a long time to make a portrait of one of my neighbors, a young woman of poor Tahitian extraction." He had only been a few days back in Tahiti and he wanted to make this portrait of his neighbor. The painting is colorful. It has lots of primary colors and flowers drawn all over the background. The physical traits of the woman show that she is not a white European, regular woman as we've seen in most of the European art pieces, but she is a native Tahitian woman. She has a flower in her right hand and a very serious look. It is almost as if she didn't want to be painted or doesn't even know that she's being painted. The title of the painting also leaves a lot to say about Gauguin's view of the specific scenario and this woman's role in it. She has a rather shy posture with her hands all together, a rigid posture and her legs crossed. Her dress is colonial, so I may intuit that the colonizers' influence over the French Guinea is very present during this epoch. On another hand, from what I read, I believe that Gauguin made this portrait without this woman's consent. This leaves a lot to say about the painter's morals and questions the whole meaning of the portrait, as his stay in Tahiti was rather disturbing and known for his sexual fantasies with the supposed non-civilized woman. Studying Gauguin in the 21st century is very complex because he represents everything that our generations have fought against and everything most of the people in the 21st century hates. I believe that artists like this shouldn't be worshipped and the naked paintings of these women are disrespectful and shameful. Museums shouldn't be proud to exhibit a painting of an abused, naked, and vulnerable woman who was a victim of sexism, colonialism, and immense superiority complex and lack of tact with the woman's intimacy and personal space. History is important, and of course this is all part of it, but the least we can do is describe the situation on the museum explanatory platelets. Let people know that these women were abused, mistreated, and disrespected. Gauguin was a good artist and brought lots of new developments into art as he served as an inspiration to many artists in the upcoming years, but the stories behind his art pieces must be known by the public, and especially the public that is buying his work or visiting museums that contain pieces created by him. This story must be told, and people should know how and what is the background story of what they are looking at, because what Gauguin did was wrong, and it is the museum's responsibility to do the work and stop deifying these art pieces that are an actual insult to all the feminist movements that have been developed in the past few years.